I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Show me the money! Show me the money!
UFC 322. This is Jack Della Maddalena taking on Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev moving up to welterweight and seeing if he can be a two-division champion. This is at Madison Square Garden. And there's about 14 bouts on the card here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic card. And I'll tell you this. Alex Pereira, actually John Jones, Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria, they've all moved up in weight recently. And they've looked phenomenal. You know what I mean? First round finishes. And nevertheless, it's something to, think about. You know what I mean? And on top of that, Valentina Shevchenko is trying to claim that she's like the first UFC fighter or women's UFC fighter to get 8 rubies on her belt, yet on the 8th title defense, she gets choked out by Alexa Grasso. You know what I mean? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, moving on. This is the full card picks and predictions, right? My first fight on the night, we have Basinger Sasakaev taking on Eric Makhachev. At middleweight. Basinger, obviously he trains with Khamzat Chimaev. He's 10-0. He's coming out of Russia. He's going to be he's 2 inches taller than Eric Makhachev. Eric Makhachev got finished, I believe, in the second round by some dude. You know what I mean? Like he got kind of clipped. He trains out of MMA Lab, Eric Makhachev, but I just truly believe that in this fight, man, I think it's going to be a first or second round finish for Basinger. He's going to look. He came into his last fight on like a week's notice or something with no camp, and I think Basinger Sasakaev is going to get a first round submission over Eric Makhachev. So I got Basinger Sasakaev by first round submission. Moving on. Could be in the second, but, first or second. But I'm going to claim it's going to be the first. I'm going to predict it's going to be the first round. Moving on to the next fight, we have Angela Hill taking on Fatima Klein. Angela Hill, she's kind of more like of that durable type lady. I think she's about 41 years old. She's been around forever. She's basically like got a potato head too, man. She'll take shots, We just saw against Calvacante, Murray Brenner Silva. I truly believe that her forehead, her potato head could not take that much punishment, and at the end of the 3 rounds, you saw it on her face, you know what I mean? She looked like she'd been bitten by 1,000 bees, and some. But nevertheless, Angela Hill, she's going to end up taking a lot of shots here against Fatima Klein. Fatima Klein is an absolute weapon, and she's looked good, and she's coming out of New York, man. You know what I mean? She's coming out of New York. She's got like the home field advantage, if you will. And she's looking good, man. She's like finishing girls. I believe like in her last couple of fights, she's got some KO wins. And it's going to be hard, man. But I've got, Fatima Klein all day here, man. I feel like she's going to get either a dominant 30-27 decision, or she could put her away, man. She could put Angela Hill away, maybe in the 3rd round. Like, just by damage accumulating, and Angela Hill cannot really take too much more, you know what I mean? And it can be like just a late TKO victory for Fatima Klein. But nevertheless, I've got Fatima Klein in this one. TKO or decision, man. I don't think she's going to sub. Like if Mackenzie Dern can't sub Angela Hill, I don't think Fatima Klein can. Fatima Klein's going to want to go out there and try and take her head off, to be honest. Set her shots up. Nevertheless, moving on to the next fight, we have Pat Sabatini taking on Chepe Mariscal. Chepe Mariscal trains with Justin Gaethje. He's one of Gaethje's boys, I believe. He's very durable. These boys have actually fought before, and I think it was Chepe Mariscal who got the decision win. You know what I mean? But I think Pat Sabatini, he's kind of sharpened his ground game, in his career up until this point. He's become better. He's become better as a fighter, man. And, he's coming out of, I believe it's New Jersey. I'm not, I believe he's New Jersey, so it's near in the New York area. He's looking phenomenal, man. He's, I think that a Pat Sabatini, yes, I don't think he's going to clearly want to stand and strike with a Chepe Mariscal because, Chepe is pretty good on the feet, all round, and he's very durable. I think a Pat Sabatini is going to take down a Chepe Mariscal in the first round or second round and get a good submission win over Chepe Mariscal and give Chepe Mariscal his first submission win. So that's what I'm going with, man. I think Pat Sabatini's going to go out there like a bat out of hell and literally try and just finish this fight early while they're dry and lock up a choke in the first round. It could be second, but nevertheless, I've got Pat Sabatini. And then on top of that, I think he can lean on his ground game, his wrestling game. I think he's going to be a little bit more better on the ground here against Chepe. He's made strides, and I think Pat Sabatini is going to get a good win over Chepe Mariscal. Moving on to the next fight, we have a Kyle Dorcas. Let's go, baby. He was my 3-1 underdog against the circus clown in Mikel Pereira. Everyone on YouTube had Mikel Pereira. You know what I mean? I was the only one to pick Kyle Dorcas to come back and beat a Mikel Pereira. People were glazing. Now they're sitting there going, "Oh, Kyle Dorcas, whoa!" Yeah, clearly the guy's a boxing and jiu-jitsu guy, bro. You know what I mean? Mikel Pereira's a circus freak. Does backflips and has no boxing whatsoever. You know what I mean? Of course, he was going to clip a Mikel Pereira. I had Dorcas all day in that one. You know what I mean? Either way, And I think that his boxing is so much far better than a Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert is more of a Taekwondo guy. Got good hands. I'm pretty sure he's more of a Taekwondo guy in his background. Obviously, the jiu-jitsu guy. Out of these two, I truly believe if they were just doing a roll on the mats here, Gerald Meerschaert would probably eventually get a submission over Kyle Dorcas. But in this fight, it's MMA. You know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be kept on the feet. I think a Kyle Dorcas is going to pepper a Gerald Meerschaert, and I think a Kyle Dorcas is going to get a second round TKO victory over Gerald Meerschaert. So I've got a Kyle Dorcas by second round TKO, man. I don't think Gerald Meerschaert's going to want to just stand. I think he's going to break. I truly believe that a Kyle Dorcas got better boxing, man. You know what I mean? He's got good jiu-jitsu too. Don't get it twisted. Kyle Dorcas, and he's coming out of around the New York area or the New Jersey. I'm fairly certain, but I don't think it's going to go. I don't think. I think Kyle Dorcas would be okay on the mat, to be honest. Not for too long, but I think, yeah. But, at the end of the day, Kyle Dorcas on decision is live too, So, yeah, but I've got Kyle Dorcas, nevertheless, against Gerald Meerschaert. TKO or decision. Moving on to the next fight, we have a Malcolm Wellmaker taking on Cody Haddon. Cody Haddon coming in on short notice. Wellmaker undefeated, 10-0. Wellmaker, he's kind of that kind of guy that he picks his shots well, man. But, he likes to slip and dip too in the pocket. But on the other hand, we have Cody Haddon, and Cody Haddon's kind of more of like that volume kind of guy on the feet. He has good boxing, and, but he's coming in on short notice here, which is what I don't like. And, they both got kind of like that high guard, and Wellmaker slipping, Cody Haddon kind of coming in with that volume type of pressure. But at the end of the day, I truly believe, I don't think either one of these two men are going to get slept here. I don't believe so. I think Cody Haddon is durable, man. He's going to come in. He's going to be coming ready. You know what I mean? But a Wellmaker, I think he's going to win here. I think a Wellmaker is going to win, and I think it's going to be a decision win. I think it's going to be a more ooh and ah moments. I think Wellmaker is going to take that, and I think it's going to go to the decision, 29-28. I think Wellmaker he just has more of those moments, you know what I mean? And I think Cody Haddon is going to survive in there, man. He's good. He's okay. One thing that wigs me out though, that maybe he could get clipped. Maybe anything can happen in a fight, is when he stands, he kind of his head's just elevated. He's got too much. He doesn't tuck his chin in, kind of he has his head floating up in the air. You know what I mean? Like one of those fucking wavy things in the air. You know, but could be just his body shape. But nevertheless, I've got Wellmaker by 29-28 decision. Could get the stoppage. Anything can happen in a fight, but, I'm leaning towards decision for Wellmaker. But I got Wellmaker in that fight nevertheless. Moving on to the next fight, we have Erin Cold-Blooded Blanchfield taking on Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez, she's looked good, man. She's a little bit more of a girly girl out of the two women here. She's 12-2. She's good on the feet, good on the ground. You know, she's got good boxing. I think out of the two ladies, I think Tracy Cortez just has that edge in boxing, you know, stand up, a little bit more better hands. But on the other hand, we have Erin Blanchfield, and I think that she's got a little bit more of a dog in her, man. I think Erin Blanchfield's a little bit better on the ground. You know, she's 13-2. She's looked a little bit. I say the aura here between these two ladies is probably similar. I just think that Erin Blanchfield's a little bit more dog, you know, and I think it's going to hit the mat at some point or a few times. And Erin Blanchfield's going to grind out a 29-28 decision over Tracy Cortez and just outdog Tracy Cortez. You know what I mean? I mean, Erin Blanchfield could find herself in trouble on the feet at times, but I think Erin Blanchfield's going to grind out a decision. I think she's going to get those takedowns and, yeah, just do her thing, man. I think, you know, even maybe just rack up some control time over Tracy Cortez. And I don't think Tracy Cortez is going to get that 8th rank to like beat the 4th rank. I think 4th rank, Erin Blanchfield's keeping her position in the rankings to a 29-28 decision. Moving on to a fight that I am absolutely loving because people are all picking Gregory Rodriguez like absolute peanuts. Okay, it's hilarious, dude. Okay, in this fight, Gregory Rodriguez, right? He is more of the kind of guy to sit there and, you know what I mean, use his hands, okay? I don't think he's ever really thrown kicks before in his entire life. And he's going up against an absolute specimen southpaw kickboxer in Roman Kopylov, right? A kickboxer, but not only just a kickboxer, a guy that's actually got good hands too, man. He's got good boxing, you know what I mean? Generally, sometimes when you've got a kickboxer or a Muay Thai guy there, they don't have like proper, you know, boxing. You know what I mean? Good boxing. Good boxing is the next era we're moving into, people. And, you know, believe it or not, that's just what's happening. Okay? Going to make a documentary about it. But nevertheless, I have Roman Kopylov in this one, man. I think because he's a southpaw, you know, very good dog. He is my dog of the week. Okay? Roman Kopylov. And say whatever what you will. A week before the fight in Yadir Del Villal, I had Yadir Del Villal to outmuscle and Isaac Delgarian and just say it. I don't care what it was script. The fight was fixed. You know what I mean? I truly believe that in the back before the fight, a half an hour before it, I believe Isaac Delgarian just knew he was fucked to begin with. You know what I mean? Or who knows? One of his teammates probably saw a Yadir Del Villal being like, "Holy, this guy's huge. This guy's blown up, man. He's massive. He looks strong as like fuck, man. We should contact the boys and put all the cash on him. You know what I mean? I reckon that's because they probably knew they were fucked. But at the end of the day, sorry, I'm just going on a rant here, but I'm good at picking dogs, man. I'm telling you right now, Roman Kopylov in this one, very good dog. And I truly believe that Gregory Rodriguez does not like to get kicked, man. He doesn't like it. Every time he's lost, it's against either a southpaw or someone that's utilized kicks very, very well. And I truly believe that Roman Kopylov is going to get a second round TKO in this fight, man. I reckon Roman Kopylov is going to get a TKO or KO. Second round finish for Roman Kopylov. 100%. Yeah. I'm trying to pick it could be early, it could be late. But yeah, I've got Roman Kopylov all day in that fight, man, against Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Rodriguez is going to try and outmuscle and wrestle a Roman Kopylov. When have you ever seen Gregory Rodriguez try and wrestle his opponent? You know what I mean? Dude, the guy got knocked out in the Contender Series against, Jordan Williams, up against the cage because Jordan Williams was kicking the shit out of him as well. He just breaks when people are kicking him. And you got a Roman Kopylov that's an absolute specimen on the feet with kicks, and got good hands. He's got good hands. He doesn't just kick like an absolute fairy. This guy goes out. Roman Kopylov is no joke, man. People are just not realizing, man. He used to be my favorite fight in 2023. What about now? The guy's a beast. Roman Kopylov is a beast, man. And he'll fight for your money too. You know what I mean? He took on Paulo Costa, but that was a dangerous Paulo Costa, man. And he lost. But that was a dangerous Paulo Costa. That was Paulo Costa looking the best he's ever looked. Anyway, I believe. You know what I mean? That's what I truly believe. So yeah, Roman Kopylov over Gregory Rodriguez. Very good dog. Moving on to the next fight, we have Bo Nickel taking on Rodolfo Vieira. Bo Nickel, he's 7-1. I just truly in this fight, right? Bo Nickel, he's on the featured fight of the prelims, so they put him down onto the prelims, and he doesn't look too good. He got stopped in his last fight against RDR, but this fight here, I truly believe that a Rodolfo Vieira needs it on the ground to get his submissions off. Right? He's he's an absolute jiu-jitsu specialist. He's like Gerald Mearshart, kind of similar. Reminds me of. But on the other hand, Bo Nickel got wrestling. He's got obviously one of the best wrestling credentials in the UFC, and I truly believe that Bo Nickel's not even going to need it. I think it's going to be a first round TKO victory for Bo Nickel, or second round. But I think that Bo Nickel is going to go out there with less pressure. He's not on the main card. He can be himself a little bit more and just walk through the fire, man. Not kind of being scared too much about getting taken down, because he can. He'll be able to handle himself against a Rodolfo Vieira in moments if things went south and went to the ground. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, I've got Bo Nickel, and I think he's going to get on the feet a TKO victory in the first round or second round, man. So Bo Nickel all day in that one. Moving to the main card. Let's go, man. Beneil Dariush taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis looked good in his last two fights. He obviously broke against a Renato Moicano in his home country. He's the kind of guy that just always looks, I feel like in his last few fights, man, he's always been given his home advantage. You know what I mean? And that's just like, he loves that. But at the end of the day, he's fighting a Beneil Dariush, and a Benoit Saint-Denis has got like strong, heavy like strikes, but he's still kind of like a spastic at it. And on the other hand, we have a Beneil Dariush, right? He's an absolute spastic on the feet as well. He's ranked 9. So Beneil Saint-Denis is ranked 13. Okay. So Beneil Dariush, man, he's an absolute spastic when it comes to striking, man, on the feet. But on the other hand, on the ground, I think a Beneil Dariush is just far better on the ground than Benoit Saint-Denis, where Benoit Saint-Denis shines. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if I was to pick who would be better on the ground, I think it's Beneil Dariush, man. I don't think Benoit Saint-Denis. Then it comes down to, well, who would go to a decision and win a decision? And I think it's a Beneil Dariush, man. I think Beneil Dariush is going to just have that little bit extra in the tank in the third round even. A Benoit Saint-Denis does have good cardio, but I think they're both going to just rock 'em, sock 'em each other. You know what I mean? And I think a Beneil Dariush can be a little bit more unorthodox on the feet, man. Just move his head a little bit more. I think Benoit Saint-Denis is going to take maybe a little bit extra more shots, because he just wants to take shots. You know what I mean? And then when it hits the mat, I think a Beneil Dariush is going to handle himself. So, either I've got a third round submission for Beneil Dariush or a decision win over Benoit Saint-Denis. So give me the dog in Beneil Dariush. Moving on to the next fight, we have Leon Edwards taking on Carlos Prates. Leon Edwards, he's very durable, man. And, the story of this fight is Carlos Prates, right? Let's go, baby. My brother from another mother, right? Carlos Prates, man. I love this guy, man. He's born on the exact same day, year as me, man. He's the exact same age as me. We share the exact same birthday, same year, everything. 17th of August, 1993, man. He's my brother from another mother and father. You know what I mean? This dude's a beast. And he's got the same. I know what his mentality would be, man. He's going to go out there and try and absolutely. He wants to kill him. You know what I mean? He's going to want to ill him. He's going to want to ill him. But I think Leon Edwards is just too durable, man. He's good. He's good on the feet, man. And at the end of the 5th round against Nate Diaz, he kind of did get clipped, and he looked like he was in trouble. So in this fight, I truly think that maybe, if anything, in the 3rd round, he probably might end up breaking, and Carlos Prates takes over with his power and long shots, because that's what Carlos Prates loves to do. But I think Leon Edwards is durable, man. But at the end of the day, I've got Carlos Prates winning this all day. You know what I mean? Because I just think his momentum is in favor here. Leon Edwards has been there. Carlos Prates is more hungry, I truly believe. But I've got a Carlos Prates by decision win or a 3rd round TKO or KO. You know, I know all of his finishes have been walk-off KOs and, you know, whatever. But, you know, it's we're talking about Leon Edwards here, man. He's still durable, you know, and he still was the champion and he's still good, you know. So anyway, I've got a Carlos Prates by decision or third round stoppage, TKO. Moving on to the next fight, we have Sean Brady taking on Michael Morales. Michael Morales undefeated, 18-0, and, you know, we're all just going to sit here and act like, you know, we are, like, I'm going to be different and take Michael Morales. It's not different, man. The guy's undefeated, and he's the underdog, of course. He's like the best pick out of all of them. He's got Ecuadorian wrestling. Like, Sean Brady is short for the division. Sean Brady has, you know, obviously got that grappling skill set, you know what I mean, and is going to want it to take it to the ground. But when you're trying to wrestle an Ecuadorian wrestler that's tall, like way taller than you, man, look at the reach advantage, 7-inch reach advantage, and he's 6 foot. He might be a little bit taller, but you know that's a tough ask for Sean Brady, man. And the guy's undefeated. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to sit here and act like I'm this intelligent guy that's predicting fights. That's found. Oh my God, I'm the one picking Michael Morales. Yeah, I'm picking I'm going to pick Michael Morales too, man. Right here, boom, Michael Morales, baby. Let's go. Michael Morales, I'm picking him too, man. And I'm not going to just sit here and act like, I'm such a good predictor, man. Michael Morales, like it's the obvious pick here, dude. Sean Brady's the shorter guy. You know what I mean? Like he's been finished by a Bilal Muhammad, dude. Michael Morales would probably kill a Bilal. I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean? Just saying in a fight. Like in a professional MMA mixed martial arts fight, I think Michael Morales would dust a Bilal Muhammad. So yeah, I've got Michael Morales, and I've got him by second or third round TKO over Sean Brady. But a very good dog to take. Moving on to the next fight, we have Valentina Shevchenko taking on Zhang Weili. Valentina Shevchenko looking okay. She's looking okay, but she's kind of not looked. She's kind of lost her, her full skill set, I feel. Like she used to look really, really good. Now she's kind of looked, she's not as good as she used to be. I put it that way. And I think Zhang Weili has looked way better. I've done a prediction for this video, and go have a look. You know, I did a prediction an hour before I uploaded, an hour before this fight got announced, you know, because I was trying to predict like what fights would be announced. And I predicted that, this fight was going to, this fight was announced an hour before it. So I did a video, and I'm picking Zhang Weili. I'm picking Zhang Weili. I think she's just looked a little bit better. She got better grappling. Zhang Weili's got way better grappling than Valentina. Valentina's utilized her grappling lately, but I think that's just because she probably just can't. She's not as good as she used to be, like on the feet, man. And at the end of the day, again, what I said was Valentina Shevchenko, man. Really, you're gonna like act like you got that 8th title defense? Like, isn't it the whole point of that is, 8 title defenses consecutively? That's how the Ruby system works, you know? This chick, she got 7, and on her 8th fight, she got choked out by Alexa Grasso, you know? And then she obviously won in the rematch. Oh no, it went to a draw, I believe. And then it was the third fight that she won her 8th title defense. You didn't win an 8th title defense. What are you doing? Why are you claiming like you're the only one, like you're the first one to get 8 rubies? You got 7, man. Hey, this is what happens sometimes. You know, you fell short 1. No, well, don't act like you got another belt. You got a new belt. So now try and do another 7. I don't know. But you can't just claim that it's the... Anyway, I think that's a bit delusional. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? You know? You're going to actually try and claim that you did 8 title defenses in consecutively? No, you didn't. Alexa Grasso choked you out. That's just the name of the game. You lost. Own it. Own it. Hold yourself accountable. Anyway, I've got Zhang Weili, man, and let's not even get into it politically. I just think that Zhang Weili is going to get it on the cards. You know what I mean? People are probably going to claim it's going to be a robbery, but I've got Zhang Weili, and in my prediction, I said 3 rounds out of the 5 for Zhang Weili. Moving on to the main event. And this scares me, man. Our own boy, Jackie Della Maddalena. Our own boy, JDM, man. My heart, I really, really, really want JDM to win, okay? This is, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet here. I really want JDM to win. I do. I really do, man. You know, obviously it's good for our country. It's good for everything, man. And I'm going to root for Jack. I'm going to root for him, man. I'm going to. But at the end of the day, I think that an Islam Makhachev, he's been on the supplements. You know, he's been on the creatine. When you take creatine, it honestly increases your overall performance by 20%. Your strength is increased. I think that there's a trend going on here. John Jones, you know, Ilya Topuria, freaking Alex Pereira. Dude, they've all gone up in weight and got first round finishes, man. And this just scares me. Like, I truly believe, like, Jack Della was getting taken down by Basil Hafez in the first, 20 seconds, man. And, you know, Basil Hafez is not the same grappler as Islam. Islam is just that next level type dude, man. Like, you know, Basil Hafez couldn't, secure JDM's feet, you know, as the Dagestanis do. But Islam's going to easily do that, man. I just think that, look, at the end of the day, man, if there was no grappling here and this was literally just a stand-up affair, JDM all day by TKO. I think JDM finishes Islam on the feet, man. Knocks him out. Finishes him. TKO. But it's not. It's mixed martial arts and, you know, it's just annoying. So I've got Islam Makhachev in the first 2 rounds by submission. I'm going to call a first-round submission for Islam Makhachev, man. I think he's just literally, it's going to be like a y'all must have forgot moment, you know, and we're due for one in the UFC. Yeah, so that's just my takes. And those are my picks and predictions. Yeah, I've got a 5 confident pick coming out. My last 5 confident pick, you know, I had 6 picks actually on there. So the 6th one was Zachary Reese, the short notice one. I had second round, TKO? He got the second round sub, you know what I mean? And out of the 6 fights, I got 4 of them that won, you know what I mean? It's not bad, you know? I think I got Euros Medic, first round TKO. There was peanuts out there saying, picking and flipping from Muslim Salikov to Euros Medic. You know what I mean? I just said straight up, dude, Euros Medic first round KO, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got good calls. I got good picks. Anyway, this is Punches of Profits and I'm out. Peace.